Well, hello there and welcome, my Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising Venus signs. Welcome to your twin flame reading for November-ish 2019. I am your reader for the moment, probably for the next hour. These have not been quickies. Mark Angelo, Lyons, Mal for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, and president of DrawingTheCircle Productions since 1998. Yes, that's right, 1998. I am a Virgo, but I have Leo rising. Can you tell? Thank you. Overtone purple for brown hair. And no, they're not my sponsors, but I would love to get some free shit from them. Just saying, if anybody works for them, let them know. We are brought together today to have a look-see-dooksy at the twin flame contract that is most important on your path for the month of November-ish 2019. So, but first we got to do a little preamble, right? Because there are people who are new to the channel. So if you are new to the channel, this little bit's for you. The subscribers, thank you, my subscribers. You can jump ahead, and if somebody wants to pop a timestamp in there for when the reading starts, I would greatly appreciate it. That said, if you are new to my channel, just a couple of things, like number one, this is a general read. It's not going to resonate with everybody. That's why I always do Sun, Moon, Rising at least, at minimum, when I do a zodiacal read from Aries to Pisces, throwing in the occasional, right, you know, Venus for relationship stuff, Mercury for Mercury retrograde, you're with me, right? So by all means, please do check your other signs. We're looking at really billions of people in zodiacal collectives. We're going for the most important theme, but I do bless the decks every single time, asking that it be truly helpful for anybody who watches it, that it be for the well-being of all. So just pay attention to what happens in your body. If when you're watching this, you'll know if a reading, not just mine, anybody's, is for you by what's happening in your body. And I don't mean physiologically, I mean, but the intuition, particularly through this medium, speaks through the lower three chakras, right? So if it's attraction or repulsion, it's for you. How, you know, it's not for you, it's just like, meh, right? Just like flat line, right? Just not feeling it. That's a different thing. Then absolutely go check your other signs. Also, this is a soulmate, a twin flame read, different than a soulmate read. They are both soul contracts, but they are not the same thing. There are videos in the description box below, along with links for all of the cards, the decks that I use when I work. One from KAHN called Soul Contracts. Twin Flames and Soulmates Redefined. Brilliant, 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 brilliant. Turned it around on a dime for me. Really, really worthwhile watch. As well as I did one called Clarifying Twin Flame Soulmates and True Lovers, which is my own download, and there's a video on that too. So that you understand that twin flame contracts, you have more than one, right? So already people are like, up in arms. What do you mean I only have one twin flame? Not according to this new definition. Twin flame contracts at their foundation, because every contract, right, has to have some sort of solid foundation for it to hold water, and this is a sacred contract, so you bet it does. The contract is to teach you how to heal yourself, how to love yourself, how to do the whole self-esteem as a verb, right? How to set boundaries, how to approve of yourself, all of that stuff, which means by definition, though there may very much be love in a twin flame contract, that you cannot by contract give each other what the other one wants. Your soulmates are more of that contract. That contract is symbiotic and satisfying and supportive, right? You help each other heal. Twin flames are turbulent, tumultuous, transformative, like the phoenix over and over and over again, and worth it. And just as you may have hundreds of twin flame contracts in one life outside, you know, it's not just about romantic, sexual, TF or soulmate, right? Twin flame or soulmate. But just as you have hundreds of soulmates, two contracts, infinite number of forms, right, that they can take place in. That said, we are going to be doing Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine as a way of differentiating between the two different characters within the contract. I was raised by my stepfather, affectionately named Zeus. He's my mother's divorce lawyer. She divorced my dad, she married him, and they've been together forever. It seems like Zeus and Hera up on the mountain in Saratoga. Love them so much. So, calling it Party A and Party B is a little dry for me. Cardi B. It says Party B. It sounds like Cardi B coming out of my mouth. Yikes. Cool. So it's not about bodily gender. It's about dynamic. Different relationships will bring out divine masculine and or divine feminine in you. We're cool. We're good. Anything else? Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Please do like and subscribe, because once I hit 1,000 plus subscribers, and I believe we're halfway there, I will be doing Drunk Tarot once a month, at least for the first few months. I never drink alcohol when I work professionally, but the thing is that when I do drink even a little bit, just like even a little bit tipsy, like sitting at dinner, boys, what are you doing over there? Oh, my cats. Give me 1 minute, please. They knocked over the humidifier. What the fuck? It's not even working. Be right back. Magic clap. Sorry about that. They knocked over the humidifier. Water everywhere. I'm back. Oh, my boys, really. 3 black cats, Sebastian, Balthazar, and Melchior, my 3 little black kitty cats. Who are not so little. So where was I? Oh, yeah. So Drunk Tarot. Every now and again, even at dinner, like, get a glass of wine in me. Not much, right? Like 1 glass of Pinot. And it's just like... The Pisces moon in me goes out to play and feels the room. So the thing is, it only enhances my accuracy, but it drops my diplomacy, which is really a lot of fun to watch because I am a fun drunk. So we'll do that once a month. So please do like and subscribe. The last thing really is to please breathe. Inhale all you need from the divine. Just do it consciously. You're gonna anyway. Might as well be aware of it, right? We are the breath. The breath brings you right into the present moment, right to where the divine is. The divine is always here in the now. And it slows me down so that I can really bring through this energy, because really all I'm doing is giving voice to the energy of the divine and this contract, right? So breathe in what you need, breathe out everything that you need for that inhale, for that moment, breathe out. In blessing, releasing what needs to go in that moment, but also think of all that grace coming in and through you and then out into the world. That's happening all the time, even when we're asleep. But there's something about the oldest form of meditation, witnessing the breath, where you be the breath. You become the breath. You transcend it. Cool. Oh, that felt good. Ready? Let's dive. We're going to pull 3 Caroline Myss archetype cards. 1 for the divine feminine, 1 for the divine masculine, 1 for the contract itself. This would be a good time to timestamp, just saying. Ready? Here we go. My collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved. Please, 1 card for the divine feminine in this Leo collective sun, moon, rising, Venus sign, twin flame contract for November-ish 2019. Now, there has been an ongoing juxtaposition of divine masculine archetypes in the position of the divine feminine and divine feminine archetypes in the position of the divine masculine, not only on my channel. Erica Elmutz, I've noticed that's been happening to her here and there. Quantum Queen. Oh, you know who my new favorite is? Oh, what is it? The Real Housewives of Tarot. She fucking kills me. She's amazing. Oh, my sister, where have you been? Love her. So we'll read all of these. So we've got the God archetype. Oh my God, the God archetype and the divine feminine. That's an implosion of duality. So already we're really looking at something 5th dimensionally tuned here in this Leo contract, right? Twin flamer. Big twin flamer. Let's get 1 for the divine masculine. Let's see what happens here, because if this one is the goddess, I will fall the fuck out of my body. So I better breathe. My pantheons, please. Same thing for the divine feminine in this Leo collective sun, moon, rising, Venus sign, twin flame contract for November-ish 2019. Well, the prostitute archetype, don't freak out. Everybody's got the prostitute archetype. It's a member of the survival family. So the child, the victim, victor, the saboteur, empowerer, and the prostitute, the four foundational survival archetypes. It's more about faith than anything else. We will get to it. But God and the prostitute sounds a little scriptural. All I'm saying is, but she wasn't really a prostitute, was she? I am not going to go all comparative religion on you all in a YouTube video. Go watch my classes. They're on here too, right? Or on Vimeo.com. On demand. Pay my bills, please. Okay, let's get one for the overall contract here. And I think this is always so key, what I call the center lane. Not just the two of them together, like what is actually going on in the contract itself. Like, what, you know, what almost independent of what each one is doing, what's going on in the contract itself. So please, my collective pantheon, same thing. What's going on in this Leo collective sun, moon, rising, Venus sign, a twin flame contract for November-ish 2019? We've got the Prince archetype. So another divine masculine. So a god and a prince get a prostitute. Oh, fuck. Here we go. So these are the three dominant main energies for the reading. Everything else we add to this will come from the other deck. So it's all about in reference to these because it takes archetypes to fill in contracts, right? So we've got a divine feminine god, which, you know, if you say yes, you could say Athena is the god of wisdom, technically the goddess of wisdom, but then you're talking about like... almost like a race, like the human race, right? The race of man, which we don't always say the race of man and woman. You would say like the race of God. But this is really divine masculine in its purest form. Every archetype is shadow and light, essentially neutral, lead and gold. So this is what the divine feminine is alchemizing or has the opportunity to alchemize within herself in this contract this month. Shadow attribute, despotism and cruelty, using power to control people, right? Like, yeah, sounds like fun. Divine feminine on Leo rising, so it's like, yeah, yeah, right? Oh, the good old days when the old gods walked. You know I love me some Penny Dreadful. I know the new series is going to come out, but I don't think how I can do it without Mr. Chandler, honestly. My first real boyfriend looks just like him. The light attribute, in other words, from the despotism, we are moving towards the alchemy of benevolence and compassion, recognizing the eternal force within yourself and others, fifth dimensional unity consciousness that we are all God, we are all divine. Someday the angels, the gods, the masters, the higher selves are all going to whip off their mask and it's just going to be all of us, right? It's like we are all the same fucking thing. One awareness manifested as millions and billions. It's called the game of life, and we're still learning how to play it because the rules keep fucking changing because there's always a higher level of truth and experience. It's just how it is, right? Multidimensional reality. So that's really interesting. I mean, interestingly enough, not a divine family archetype, though it does represent the divine masculine God in the divine feminine position. Let's look at the prostitute, which again is about faith. So I hope you haven't clicked off if you identify with the divine masculine here. Shadow attribute. Places material consideration and security above self-empowerment, right? So instead of taking the journey of trusting yourself, of having faith in the divine, you're like, no, I'll just stay here because it's comfy, even though it can be TAF, toxic as fuck, to do so, right? To stay in an abusive, neglectful situation, regardless of whether this relationship is or not just yet. So the light attribute accentuates the challenge of surviving without negotiating the power of your spirit. Can you do it? Can you do what is necessary to survive on your own without negotiating the power of your spirit, without putting a price on yourself? They say everybody has a price, and that may be true to a point, but never again will I prostitute the innocent child of my heart, right? My emotional body. The moment I catch a whiff of abuse, neglect, codependence, I'm out the fucking door, right? That's what I call the hooker with the heart of gold, the ethical slut. Yes, witch! Can tell I'm Leo rising, can't you? Mars conjunct, no big shock, right? So now the prince archetype representing this contract in toto, such a lawyer word, the shadow attribute using power for self-aggrandizement. We wouldn't know anything about that, would we, Leos? Right? Using power to make you, to inflate yourself, right? To make yourself look as something better and other than you truly are, when the truth is who we really are is, we're the divine. We are the hidden children of the gods, if there are any pagans watching this, right? Hidden even unto our own selves. We're like, oh yeah, we're all the children of the gods. But then we forget, by definition, that means that we inherit their power, and to use that power in shadow ways, right? To put on a mask for the rest of the world, you know? Rather than the light attribute, romantic charm. I've got fucking the prince archetype in spades, lifelong prince charming, but it only fucking works on divine feminines, and I consider myself a divine feminine, so kind of not fair. Just saying. That could change, right? What do I know? Romantic charm and potential for power. Everybody has potential for power, but the prince inherits power to become king, where the knight, K-N-I-G-H-T, conquers to become king. So, you know, it doesn't mean that the prince doesn't have his battles, but it shows a potential for power, but what will make that potential kinetic? Hold on 1 minute, please. I've got a coughing fit about to happen. Sorry about that. I'm cleaning out a head cold, and actually I'm not really telling anybody this, but I guess I'll tell you, dear close people whose names I don't know. I smoked my last cigarette today. It was just something, this head cold had to go, and the gods were like, okay, and they've been weaning me off. Like yesterday I smoked like 4 cigarettes instead of 10, which is my usual. Okay. So let's keep going. We've got our energies down and clear. Let's pull 3. Healing with the Angels Oracle during Virtue to clarify. Please pardon me that this will go away soon, because now I'm not just cleaning out a sinus infection, I'm going through detox, but doesn't stop me from working. Why? Leo rising. No. Breathe. Oh, my angels. Please, 1 card in clarity for this divine feminine god archetype in this Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign for November-ish 2019. Please, 1 card of celestial clarity, my angels, for this divine feminine. Soulmate. Now look, I know I just said soulmate and twin flame are not the same thing, and that is true. That is where I'm coming from, but there is no twin flame card in this deck. So we're going to go just to say that this is a sacred contract, right? That there is a soul agreement, that there is a soul bond, a soul contract, whatever you want to call it, a divine contract. That absolutely, well then with the God archetype would absolutely make sense that the divine feminine knows it, right? And through, I would say, the masculine principle, which is through study, which is through more the mental, the upper chakras than the lower. Not that masculine is higher than the feminine, it takes all of it. Because really the divine feminine is the sacred heart, the divine masculine is the sacred mind. You gotta bring them both into balance, right? So something really interesting about that, well, not, I guess, of the two, the divine feminine as the God archetype, very tricky, would be onto that, right? Would be aware of it, which probably you're a divine feminine watching this. It's like, I fucking knew it. So right, you're right, but it's a twin flame. not necessarily a soulmate, but, you know, then there are true lovers, which is the implosion of both contracts, but that's like my download that I got here and there throughout my life. That's why I didn't like the words twin flame or soulmate. I found them to be forms of spiritual codependence. And they're like, no, there is a higher dimensional contract that implodes the two. Go watch the vids on it. Let's get one for this divine masculine prostitute. Doesn't that sound a little bit of fun? Just a little. I have never paid for sex or been paid for sex in this life. Dinner and a movie maybe, but I don't have to do anything I don't want to do in this life. Not so much in my last one. Right. Let's have a look-see-dooksy at this divine masculine prostitute archetype, please, my angels. Same thing. One card in clarity for the divine masculine in this Leo collective twin flamer for November-ish 2019, please. Intention. Right? So what is this prostituting here? But something about their intention, not just what they want, but why they want it. The what they want might be just fine and dandy worthy to speak it, but the shadow part of it, what they don't want anybody to know about or look at within themselves, is the why. What do I want? I just want peace. Why? Because I'm terrified of making change, right? It's like that's... Do you see, when it comes to intention, and you can read, you can study The Art of Intention, The Power of Intention, absolutely, Wayne Dyer, go there. The PBS series was genius. It was very, very helpful at one point in my life. Abraham Hicks, the whole 9 yards, law of attraction, flaw of attraction, knock yourself out. But with this here, gotta know that the intention is nothing more than the answer to the questions, what do I want and why do I want it? And the why is more important than the what, because the why is the horse, the what, the cart, and most people have horse and cart reversed. So you really need the driving power to be the why there. And if the why is because I don't have faith in myself, right? Prostitution archetype is like, this job is killing me, but I can't leave for the benefits because the market. Well, yeah, but if your soul is calling you forward, right? Do you see where that's how we learn how to survive? And with a God archetype over here, it's like, they're like, bitch, step up. Okay, maybe that's a little personal. Maybe that's me. Maybe I'm projecting. What are the chances? All right, let's get one for the Prince archetype here. Oh, please, oh, please, oh, please, my angels. One card in clarity for this crazy Leo collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, sign twin flame contract for November-ish 2019. Please, my angels. One broad stroke, one piece of your celestial overview. Surrender and release. Lovely. So it is in a period now where individually they're sort of releasing each other. It doesn't mean forever. Every exhale is a release. Every inhale is a refill. Release. Refill, right? Just part of the cycle here, because rarely, I mean sometimes, but rarely do twin flame contracts really just simply end on a dime like that. Even after death, that stuff can still go on. We're just hoping more for like ego death, symbolic death, than physical, literal, right? So with the Prince and surrender and release, that the overall contract right now is like, yes, there is huge potential and power right here that needs to be released through divine surrender. And look, divine surrender is really nothing more than in whatever way, shape, or form individually you find your way to it, is just saying, okay, I have free will in the quantum, I just don't have control, because free will and control are not the same thing. There's a certain set of options in every video game that you have, right? You move forward, move backward, left, right, etc. Think single shooter player, right? Playing single shooter. So I'm going to surrender to this script, whatever it is, but I am going to ask the divine to do this through me, that I make the wisest, the highest, the best, because what the fuck do I know? That's surrender. Active surrender. play the game. Your participation is necessary. But also then with that will come a release of a lot of tension, a lot of psychic baggage, a lot of psychic weight, right? To keep going, we're going to pull 2 Daughters of the Moon Tarot, one for the Divine Feminine and one for the contract itself. We will follow that up with the Mythic Tarot, one for the Divine Masculine, one for the contract itself. Cool, cool. Please breathe. Oh, my goddesses, please. One card in clarity for the Divine Feminine God archetype in this Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract for November-ish 2019. What say you? Well, the Ten of Cups harvest, so... sorry, Ten of Cups, Ten of Pentacles, the harvest. I mean, really, a lot of manifestation of the divine in terms of abundance in the physical. But then something really here about this soulmate contract, perhaps this one is up. Right, it's hit its 10, at least in terms of its physical manifestation, which then, that's like the waxing, now cometh the waning, right? Possibility. I mean, as I tune into it here, there's nothing that feels horrible here. Oh yeah, but she's got the God archetype, so she might be what? In that place of benevolence and compassion, recognizing the eternal force within herself and others, right? So considering this is for November-ish, this is very Thanksgiving, and I just don't mean the act of gratitude, I mean the American holiday, right? Plymouth and whatnot, right? Pilgrims, what do you know, pilgrim? Good God, pardon, that will end, please bear with me, you know, detoxing here. Keeping... Oh, well, then they're also saying, keeping in mind that the God is surrounded by other soulmates, right? Supportive. The Divine Feminine God archetype, totally imploding in my brain, has this harvest as well of soulmates, of like people, like the friends and family that are loving, that are supportive, going on for them, around them. I really like that. And yes, they're twin flame and soulmate, both soul contracts. But it does feel like that they have the comfort and the surround of the harvest of all the work that they've done. They're getting the harvest. Let's look for the contract itself, please, my goddesses. Same thing for the overall contract in this Leo collective twin flame November-ish 2019. And we've got the juggler, right? The juggling, the Two of Pentacles, the bull leapers. Essentially Amazon-like women from, I won't say prehistoric Spain, but I guess ancient Spain, in that sense, who would run towards bulls, grab them by the horns, and flip over them, which I'm pretty sure that's where the term grab the bull by the horns comes from. They were acrobats, and I believe the running of the bulls of Pamplona was an extension of that. That's not a sociologist, I'm not an archaeologist, I'm a witch with a good grasp of symbolism, witch, yeah. So, there is some juggling, there is some balancing that's going on in this twin flame contract in and of itself through surrender and release, right? A lot has been taken on, a lot must be released to make room, because with that release comes return. Either the return of something from the past or the revival, the refueling, the renewal is really the right word. Something new comes in, right? Let's do with the Mythic Tarot the same thingy with the Divine Masculine and the contract itself. My gods, Apollo, you who sit solo in the throne of Leo for me, please. Your clarity, so hot. He's the god of the sun. Please, your clarity, your prophecy. If we're ready for it, please, Apollo and any of the other gods that wish to chime in. One card in clarity for this Divine Masculine Prostitute archetype in this Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract for November-ish 2019. What say you? The star. The sun is a star, but in this deck, if it was the card of the sun, it actually has Apollo on it. I would have fell out. So there is faith here. Like, this is a card of faith. The prostitute is about faith, right? Will you negotiate the power of your spirit that's calling you forward into something divine masculine? Will you prostitute it? Will you negotiate it away for comfort, for material, right? What does it says right here? Places material considerations and security. Now, yeah, I understand if your security feels threatened, but remember that the gods are trying to move you out of something unhealthy into something healthy. It's like, well, I would, but I have bills to pay, or I don't pay a lot in this relationship. They're paying all the bills. So, hooker, please snap out of it. You're a divine being. You're worth the world and more, right? And with that card of the star, there is light. There is hope. There is a star, a guidance, a grace calling you forward. Real, true spiritual healing. But is that your intention? Witch work. Let's get one for, I'm rejuvenated by that for the divine masculine. Blessed be. The divine masculines need all the help they can get. Oh, they're second wavers. The divine feminines are first wavers. We've been here since fucking Lemuria, right? Fuck. Atlanteans. It's okay. I did my time in Atlantis. Pre-sinkage, obviously. I probably had something to do with it falling. Ooh, what does this button do? Divine feminine. There's a certain generation that just busted out laughing, and I love you. Let's go here for the contract itself, please. My gods, Apollo in particular, one card in clarity for this overall Leo collective sun, moon, rising, Venus sign, twin flame contract for November-ish. Please, what say you? Well, the Page of Cups, an immature offer of love, right? Oh, and Narcissus. Woo! Go read the myth Narcissus. So there is a touch of narcissism going on here. It's just, my good God. Okay, so yeah, an offer of love here. Sure, Page of Cups, a movement of emotion. Is this romantic, sexual? I don't know. I would say we've got the God and the prostitute there, so there's some pretty heavy duty going on there. Obviously speaks for itself, just the words are so triggery. But within the Prince archetype of this relationship itself, then there needs to be serious self-reflection. There needs to be a surrender of narcissistic behavior. Now look, here's the thing. There are, let's not say why. I mean, I can give you a divine perspective of why narcissism is so high on the planet, and somebody who's political could give you a total other. I'm going to go with the divine one because the narcissists are in pain, and there are a whole bunch of different, there's like a dark pantheon of them, right? The overt, the covert, the passive, oh God, there's one, that one that's just, it sounds absolutely fucking malevolent, right? All these different types, all these different kinds. And you know, underneath that, it's all a mask for pain, right? The wounded inner child. It's all about feeling like shit, right? The feeling you are shit. So this is what these twin flame contracts are like. They are flames. The divine purpose of twin flame contracts is they turn the Bunsen burner up underneath your root chakra, right? As you are embodying higher and higher vibration, fifth dimensional awareness and above, this is the purging, this is the purification, and hermit time is needed. Time of self-reflection, self-healing, to give love to that child that no one else can give. So why not bind you in a contract to someone who can't give you what you want, but can certainly give you what you need on a soul level, which is not about giving in to you, which is about triggering the very worst in you so that you can heal and love what rises both within and without. It's tricky as fuck, right? This is why people probably won't love this new definition of twin flame, but I think it is practical, right? Page of Cups, Narcissus. Yeah, there needs self-reflection both sides. Because remember, an overt narcissist could very easily attract a covert, right? Or a passive narcissist, which tend to be the more empathic. I mean, I could talk about this stuff forever. Go watch Matt KAHN. Go watch Matt KAHN, All for Love. I'm really glad he exists, so I could say he's younger, he says it better. I love it. I've never met him. Never met him. He's a sweetheart, though. He's pulled my ass out of the fire so many times. 3 a.m. on YouTube. Blessed be. The Alexandrian Library, now known as YouTube. Let's dive in with our next deck, DECK. What I did is I split the Chuck Spezzano Love Pack, Baby Love Pack, into the Suit of Problems. The Womp Womp cards, half the deck. The other remaining suits, the Luck Suit, the Grace Suit, and the Healing Suit. Lead and gold for each, 3 positions, 6 cards total. Cool, cool. Let's get the lead. Let's get the lead out. Voice of the Ascended Masters. There you are, please. 1 card in clarity for the shadow, for the lead, for the problem going on in and with the divine feminine in this Leo Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract for November-ish 2019. Please, what say you? Self-consciousness. Now look, I will tell you something about narcissists. If you're like, well, am I a narcissist? You're probably not. Divine feminines usually aren't. Well, we can do the, well, everything's my fault. What am I doing wrong, right? That's, and then we try and manipulate our way through that by people pleasing. It's still manipulative as fuck, right? It's just passive narcissism, different than covert. Not saying that that's a personality disorder, but it seems like it's coming up through the collective. Because as one of us heals a little bit, all of us heal a little bit. That is the 5th dimensional quantum model. So then you get, oh, these contracts are not all about me. This is about healing the collective. Oh, right, that's what I came in to do in this life. I came to serve, particularly if you're a divine feminine first waver. So, my masters, please, there you are, 1 card in clarity. What is the gold that this divine feminine has to play? Right? So though you may be a little self-conscious, you're surrounded by lots of soulmates, friends, and family. And so you're just benevolent and compassionate and just play. Just play the game, right? That's part of surrender and release. It's like, oh, this is a game we're in? Well, then by all means, let's play along. Let's play our role. I am the divine, then let me bless my heart, right? Let me bless every heart. Let me love everybody, except for that divine masculine prostitute hooker, right? Him, we'll see what rises within me as I do that. Remember, it's all at our own pace, highly individualized curriculum. Let's look at that divine masculine prostitute, shall we? You know I kid. Divine masculines, you can handle it, right? My masters, please, what is the lead for this divine masculine prostitute archetype for in this Leo Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract for November-ish 2019? Control, and not the cool Janet Jackson kind. That there are massive control issues. So staying in that lead, staying in that thing, compromising the power of your spirit for material concerns, your way of controlling the uncontrollable. Clock's ticking, sweetheart. I don't think anybody's getting away with that for much longer in the collective, let alone in a twin flame contract. Control is an illusion. Free will isn't. Free will is about, how do I want to play this? What would love do? Because then you really only have 2 options, love or fear. And it seems like many in between, but boil it down. Right? Where surrender is, oh, well, in the Course of Miracles, Holy Spirit, decide for God for me. The way I say it is, all right, universe, make the right decision for me. It'll look like I'm doing it, but we'll know it's you, right? Take away my options. Take away my options, so all that's left is the divine plan. That's my prayer several times throughout the day. That's a prayer of surrender, right? Because the divine plan, everything's going to turn out better than I can even fucking imagine it. I want to see that. That's the price I got to pay, then fine, right? All right, so my Ascended Masters, please, 1 card. What's the gold for this divine masculine prostitute in this Leo Collective twin flamer? Self-love, baby. That's it. That's it. You just gotta love what rises inside of you. Sweetheart, listen to me. If you're the divine masculine here, first of all, I love you. Why? Because we're all one. We are love. Love is our true name, right? I want nothing more than for you to learn how to love what rises, your demons, your shadows, your shames, your guilts, your shitty. You can tell I am the divine feminine in this fucker. I love you. And if I'm talking to one person in particular, then you know who you are. If you are still watching my channel at this point, just fucking love what rises. Go watch the Matt Kahn vids, not because I said so, but because you have so much love and so much light inside of you. Do not give hope. Do not give up hope. Do not prostitute yourself, sweetheart. You are worth this world. You are lovable. You're not shit. That's just a demon pretending to be you, and it just wants to be loved. Transform that demon into an angel, sweetheart, giving it the love that it needs, and let that angel carry you the fuck up out of your toxicity for the well-being of all. Seriously. Shit. Sorry, everybody else. Just, I don't know, being the divine feminine god archetype while the reading is fucking going on. Let's look for the contract itself, and please breathe. Oh, by all means, allow me to breathe on our behalf. What is a weekend? Please, masters, for this overall Leo Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, Twin Flame contract for November-ish 2019. What is the lead here that's being balanced with surrender and release with this offer of emotion and love? Manipulation. Manipulation. Someone, something pulling the strings on both sides, right? It's right along there with that element of control and self-consciousness, right? It's like, are you being manipulated? Are you manipulated? Is your ego in manipulation? That there's someone, something trying to pull the strings here, and those strings need to be surrendered and released really through self-reflection and coming into balance. Totally makes sense. Because manipulation, the soul doesn't need to manipulate. You know what the soul's doing? The soul's sitting back just fucking eating popcorn, the higher self going, whenever you're ready, we'll step in, right? Because what's the opposite of manipulation? Surrender. Surrender your will to the divine. Make sure I have the right one. Okay, so please, my Ascended Masters, one card. What is the gold then available here in this Prince archetype of all things? Leo Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Twin Flame contract for November-ish 2019. Please, one card. The Lovers. All right, this is romantic, sexual. That this really is about not manipulating each other. This really is about letting love roll. Sorry to go all, oh God, his name just went out of my head. You got to let love rule. Lenny Kravitz, yes. Oh, man, it's so beautiful. This is about letting love take over. This is about surrendering to love, which doesn't mean, you know, you rip off your clothes and run naked through fucking wheat fields, because where I live there aren't any, which is a bit of a problem. Down Sunrise Highway, not pretty this time of year, talk about shrinkage. But that manipulation with the Lovers here, to not let the shadow be manipulative, but rather to love what rises, heal what needs to be healed individually here. That there is love between here, and I've said it in other readings when it really presents itself. There are plenty of relationships that are twin flame oriented where there is love there, and they manage to work it out because they understand the nature of the contract. Right? It's like, oh, we're going to teach each other how to heal. Okay, well, we've got kids, or we've got this house together, or we really do love each other. And by the way, in a twin flame romantic coupling, the sex can be off the fucking scale, because it's like, you start studying Tantra, oh my God, it's like, okay, you're just pushing my buttons, thank you, so that now I can go heal my button. That can be worked out. But that's a major thing. That is a major deal. But there's no question that these two love each other here. They absolutely, absolutely do. But there needs to be some balancing here and some work done. Obviously, control, surrendered, manipulation, surrendered, self-conscious, surrendered. We've got 3 of these puppies of the Whispers of Love Oracle. 3, obviously, divine feminine, divine masculine, and contract. Here we go. The higher selves of all involved. Do I have to breathe? This energy is so fucking high. Please, the higher selves of all involved, one card in clarity for this divine feminine God archetype. In this Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract for November-ish 2019. Please, a whisper of love for the divine feminine God archetype in this twin flame contract. This one. Speak the language of love. Loving words have the power to change someone's life, including your own. And it feels like she's set up to do that with that card of harvest in play, but that self-consciousness, it's almost like the higher self saying, go ahead, honey. Speak the language of love. And even if that is to the divine masculine, then it's going to be something like, you know, I really hope that you get everything that you need to be the best that you can be, right? That it can be speaking the language of love. It need not be verbal decapitation, right? Because despotism and cruelty, right? Remember the card of the tarot, the lightning that hits it creates these dots in the sky in the right-of-way called the yod. It's the Hebrew letter meaning the finger of God, right? The touch of God, blink, right? So, you know, this divine feminine might be able to throw lightning. In other words, totally using truth, and that's me. I never really need to deceive or lie, but I know that I can destroy somebody with the truth alone. Because that's what light is. It kind of fucks up shadow big time. Now, let's get one for the divine mask, shall we? Are you mask? Yeah, take it. Breathe. Higher selves of all involved, please. One card for the divine masculine in this Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract for November-ish 2019, please, for this divine masculine prostitute. What have we got here? Express love through gifts. Really good for the holidays. From Hallmark. Express love through gifts. Giving a small token to someone expresses your love to them. In other words, that it's time for you to give. Now, that is the divine masculine thing, yang, right? Let me show, let me express. So whatever that means to you, even if that's a kind word, an apology, right, if that is necessary in this situation, because we've got control here. So what is the small token? Express love through gifts that you can give to yourself, right? Even if it's like, you know what? Let's take care of ourselves. Let's love ourselves, right? Let's start small. Because the thing with self-love is you can start talking to your heart as your inner child right now and say, I love you. And it's going to look up at you and it's going to go, of course it is. Because a lot of people have said I love you to it and have been abused, neglected, on and on and on. You know the stories. They're your stories, they're our stories, right? So like a bank account that is in deficit, you have to keep making deposits. It's okay, sweetheart, I get. Teach me how to love you. I want to love you. I want to be for you here, now, and forever, that no matter what comes and what goes, I will never abandon you again. It's an ongoing process. It's not particularly when we're feeling emotional in a not so great way, and then we're using the I love you and the self-care to kind of change how the child is feeling. No. You let the child scream. You let the child cry. You let the child wrath and rage, and you just don't let the child drive your life, right? That's self-love. It is like emotional exorcism, and that's why people try it, and they're like, oh no, that didn't feel good. Trust me, after the storms pass, there is a bliss, a blessing, a clarity, a peace that passeth understanding. And you know, with the ETH, that's all scriptural and shit, right? So give yourself that tiny little gift, tiny little tokens of self-love there. Let's look at the contract now with that in place, right? Speaking the language of love, again, divine feminine to your heart as well. What's going on here? The higher selves of all involved, please. One card in clarity for this Prince archetype, Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract for November-ish 2019. Please, one card in clarity. Listen with your heart. Oh, I just gave you a heart lyric, right? Isn't that listen with your heart? Tell it to your heart. Oh, please, girl. You are listening to what is being said to you, but you need to listen with an open heart, right? With a loving heart, right? So then there are obviously speak the language of love, express love through gifts, and listen with your heart. There is no communication going on between these two. Well, now that's obvious. Wow, wowie, wowie, wow, wow, wow. Yeah, and that's just part of the manipulation of the lover's dance. It's definitely, it's so twin flamey. It's ridiculous. All right, let's get our last card on the table. I think those three completely explain themselves. I had to go off on that express gifts one, though, with the self-love. Because now we've got the new one. I love these. The Journey of Love Oracle. I will not memorize them. I will read them from the book because the book is fucking genius, right? And there's no way. There's poetry for each card. I'm not memorizing that. If they were all in rhyme and meter, you know, pay me $1,000 so I can pay my bills for a week. I'll do nothing else but no one's doing that. That would take focus and it would probably drive me insane. Really, unless they're rhyming couplets for spell work, they don't really stick. Break chains of illusion and set all things to right, reveal what has been hidden and bring the truth to light. Really good for a dark moon, which we're coming up to. All right, here we go. We started with the collective pantheons. We end with the collective pantheons. Please join me in a deep breath. Oh, my collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods. Oh, masters and the higher selves of all involved, please. One card in clarity. For this Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, sign, twin flame contract for November-ish 2019, please. One card in clarity. Where is this twin flame contract on the journey of love? Riding the cosmic wave, which always makes me think of Clueless. Riding the crimson wave. Rolling with the homies. Ah, Brittany Murphy flashback. Card number 60. Yeah, this is, I think, the last one in the deck. I have read this one before. Pretty sure. Oh, look, they have other stuff. Also available from Blue Angel Publishing, Whispers of Love. Different artists. Oh, I didn't realize they were the same publisher. I guess I should have. No, okay, card, oh, number 60, no, card number 70 is last. Well, I'm glad it didn't end with a 69. Shall we? Riding the cosmic wave, Mr. Hand. You can be carried further by the cosmic wave than by your own efforts. Where you are going cannot be attained by effort. The effort, the discipline, prepares us for the leap. But after the leap, we are no longer sustained by our efforts, but by forces greater than us. There's that surrender and release. Right. There. The forces of love itself. Sorry, I should have finished that. But after the leap, we are no longer sustained by our efforts, but by forces greater than us, the forces of love itself. You are stepping toward the edge, preparing to leap, and let the cosmic wave of love carry you forward. You shall be moved through grace into the new world awaiting you. Right? So that's sort of the meaning of the card now in terms of the oracle. This oracle brings a message. There is a time to work and a time to allow the fruits of one's labor to manifest. When one may be carried by forces set in motion by the energy of life itself, like harvest, like that 10 of Pentacles. You can let go and move further, reach further with less effort. Now is the time to give yourself permission to stop paddling and instead just ride the wave. Give in, let go, and be moved. The poem, please breathe. Your spirit flies like the wind warms, like the sun, and watches like the sky. How wise the earth waiting for the moment to be touched, that it's all about cycles, that it is the ebb and flow, the erosion and renewal, the constant all that rises falls of this third dimensional world. When we originate from a place much higher than that spiritually, our souls reside in the fifth and above, came in to play this game of one awareness manifested as millions and billions over. Not even to mention on the subatomic particle level, right? To go with the flow, that there is a higher thing in play here. And that's why when this conversation happens, don't rehearse it. Don't rehearse it. Say a prayer. Don't force this relationship. Let it unfold. Let this twin flame thing do its thing. But I can feel it in my heart. You two really do love each other. But there's been just so much manipulation, right? So much self-consciousness, control, where really this time apart is the best thing in the world. Surrender and release each other to love. Pray for each other individually. And believe me, whoever's doing the praying for themselves and for the other, the benefits. A Course in Miracles says the benefit of forgiveness goes to the forgiver, and that is absolutely true. But then the blessings on the inhale, right? You breathe in the blessing and send it out through you. It's going through your nervous system, right? It's such a beautiful spread for a twin flamey. But then again, we're Leos, aren't we? And just remember that all that's going on here, regardless of which side of this contract that you're in, right? It's going to work out for the well-being of all. Let's do your overview. Your summary through a wonderful, magical magic clap. Oh, I feel good. We've got the divine feminine with the God archetype, shadow attribute. Despotism and cruelty, using power to control people. No, not her. Light attribute, benevolence and compassion, recognizing the eternal force within yourself and others. Sounds much more like the divine feminine, because she is aware that there are soulmate contracts in her life, and many of them are coming home to roost, or at least for the holidays, right? That there is a coming together, a harvest, a 10 of Pentacles, a real reaping of that which has been sown, and this just feels lovely and delightful, satisfying. So regardless of what happens in this twin flame relationship, the divine feminine has soulmate contracts that she's probably already aware of. But there is a self-consciousness there about playing around. Now, that might be playing around with someone romantically, sexually, in a light way, some flirtation that is a soulmate satisfier that could absolutely help her surrender and release this twin flamer, at least for now. Right? It's like riding the cosmic wave. We'll keep referring back to that too. But regardless, she needs to speak the language of love. Loving words have the power to change someone's life, including your own. On this side of the divine masculine, we've got the prostitute archetype, a survival family archetype that everybody has in the shadow, placing material consideration and security above self-empowerment. We all do that. That's how we all learn how to survive in this world, but eventually we have to grow up and do the light attribute, accentuating the challenge of surviving without negotiating the power of your spirit. In other words, not selling your soul downstream just for material considerations. And for this divine masculine, their intention, it's really not so much about their what, it's about the why here. I can feel that. But they're trying to keep that eye on the star. They're trying to be hopeful. They're trying to keep, that is Pandora's box, that card. So the myth of Pandora, all the evils of the world fly out of Pandora's box. Not to be confused with Pandora's box from Bewitched, or Pandora box from Drag Race. Trilogy right there. But do not let go of hope, that is the one thing that is kept behind. And yet there is this dynamic of control versus self-love. And there is a personal alchemy there that just takes time. So the overall from the higher self says, please express love through gifts. Giving a small token to someone expresses your love for them, and perhaps to start saying, I love you, to that emotional heart, and I am here and talking to it like it is a 5-year-old abandoned child, because chances are it is. It holds the memories of that stuff. And the larger contract here, we have the Prince archetype, romantic charm. Oh, sorry, I did the wrong side. The shadow attribute, using power for self-aggrandizement, that this relationship maybe gave each of them independently this false sense of being amazing and wonderful and larger than life through grandiosity rather than the true grandeur of romantic charm and potential for power, and allowing that potential to develop from a prince into, let's just say, a king. Through inheriting the power, through growing into the power. Here we've got surrender and release, which, yes, is about the detox and the letting go that's necessary in all twin flame contracts, but with the card of Two of Pentacles and the Page of Cups balancing that out, that we're really looking at taking a bull by the horns in one sense, trying to get into balance, balancing themselves out. But with that Page of Cups, an offer of love that at this point seems a bit immature and narcissistic, considering what has gone down. Considering that there's been manipulation going on with these lovers, it feels like for a while, and may still be going on right now. And the manipulation, the strings of manipulation really do need to be severed between these lovers, because control and manipulation ultimately are an illusion. But if there is lies and deceptions going on here, then feels like, honestly, it's coming from the Divine Masculine, because to express love through gifts is to really say, no, Divine Feminine, I'm sorry, I fucked up, please forgive me. It's okay if you never talk to me again, you know, block me, cut me off forever, but I am truly sorry. And honestly, if she's coming from that beneficent, benevolent, loving, compassionate place at that moment, check your timing, then there really is a riding of the cosmic wave where both of you can listen with your heart, that you are listening to what is being said to you, but you need to listen with a loving heart. And then really the riding of the cosmic wave, the divine takes care of the rest, building up to this point of the leap where these two really could heal and transform each other, because there is still love going on here. Not all twin flames end up in total car wrecks. Sometimes they alchemize into the true lovers, which is the implosion of both soulmate and twin flame contract into a higher dimensional experience. Magic clap. Wow, my Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. What a powerful twin flame contract review going on here. May the Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs be blessed with all they need in this twin flame contract for November-ish 2019. May they be blessed with all that they need to heal, to grow, to learn to love themselves and heal themselves for the well-being of all. And so it is. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like, subscribe, help me get to 1,000 so I can do Drunk Tarot once a month, but you can guarantee I'll be doing super live chats at least once or twice a week, because I love that interactive part. Yeah. Go watch your soulmates. Go watch your path of true love. See how this all integrates. But for now, my darlings, hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed, blessed be.